Are you looking to become a Tier 1 operator in the gaming world? Elevate your games with Blacksite Studio Terrain.
Welcome to another exciting Present Arms Hobby Night, and this is going to be a big one. We have a lot of stuff to cover tonight. We're going to do an unboxing right here, just came today. Then we're going to talk about these little green guys right here. I'm going to show you something over here on the workbench. Can't see it, it's off camera. Something we worked on the other day. So a lot of exciting good stuff to come. And I am just looking over different chat sites. Got a new cell phone. I got the Samsung Fold, and it's freaking amazing. Right now I'm using it to remote in Streamlabs OBS. I've got the Twitch as a window, and I have YouTube as a window because you can do 3 windows at once on this thing. So I'm very excited, and let's get started with some unboxing here very shortly. This unboxing is part of a Kickstarter that wasn't too long ago, and it's the War Pig. Let's see if I can get it to come up here. Anytime, people. Transition, come on, War Pig. There it is. Okay. War Pig is up. Now the question is, I got to interact with it, which I can't do with the remote. So let me jump over to OBS, and I will interact with that, if it'll let me. That's interesting that it won't interact in here. Interesting. Okay, well, sorry guys, I'm not sure what's going on, but the War Pig, it's supposed to let me interact with it, but for some reason, still having a problem with OBS, Streamlabs OBS. If I was in regular OBS, probably wouldn't have this problem. But I'm still trying to get in there, so we'll get there. But this is the War Pig. It's a Miniature Building Authorities Kickstarter they just had out not too long ago. So let me go back to the other camera, and I lost connection. Why are we not connected? That's why we're not getting anywhere here. There we go. If I can get this to... Okay. Well, I don't know. There it is. Okay. So we're having a little bit of hiccups, but no big deal. All right, let's look what's inside this box here. So let me move these little guys out of the way. I'll move that out of the way. Move some paintbrushes out of the way. Some other stuff out of the way. Got so much to cover tonight. It's very exciting. So, priority mail. Miniature Building Authority. Let me grab a knife. Right here. And we'll pop this baby open. And we'll go from there. Let's see what we got. I don't know if you can hear my printer in the background. We'll talk about that shortly. But I have a printer running in the background, a 3D printer. Okay, here is the box. Little newspaper. And a big hunk of resin. Woo. Hey, a bonus! I got a bonus! Yeah! Again, this is the latest Kickstarter from Miniature Building Authority and my friend Kirk over there. Got a little note here from my buddies. From Kirk. bonus for you. Let's see what we got. I'll have to. Oh, it's a mortar team. Oh, it's the mortar team that they had. Sweet. Look at that. All right. So it's probably hard to see. We got some M4s. We got a tube. Ammo can. Let me switch over to workbench mode. If it'll let me. Let me guess. We're not connected again. Anytime. Alright, I might have to go to the mouse here, because for some reason, the remote is not working. Gosh darn it. That's alright. Let me just grab the mouse. I'm literally 4 feet from it. Alright. So we'll go to workbench. Transition. There's the workbench. So here is the mortar team. Americans. Ammo can. A couple M4s. Let's see if I can get those in there for you so you can see them better. Couple M4s, nice and detailed. And a mortar tube. Is this a 60 millimeter mortar? I don't think it's an 81. 81's be much bigger than that. That's man carry, so 60, I think it is. So if anybody out there knows. So that is a nice little bonus from the guys over at Miniature Building Authority. Thank you very much. We will definitely get working on that here in another episode and paint it up. I'm excited. Make sure I don't lose my M4s there. Put them back in their bag. Put that back in the box so we don't misplace it. All right. Let's take a look at this thing here. Let me switch back to the wide angle camera. And we'll look at this baby right here. So this is the War Pig. War Pig. All right. Got some more lead. Well, it's not lead anymore. It's white metal. Let's be honest. I've got I'm assuming he's a gunner. Take him out. And let me switch back to workbench. And pop that guy in there. So, the gunner, nicely sculpted. Camelback on him. He's got his pouches. Looks pretty good. We got an M249 right there. That looks really good. Some gas cans, jerry cans if you will, and some ammo cans. All in white metal. Pretty good. Alright, let me put those back in so we don't lose them. So how is everybody tonight? How are we doing? I got a lot of stuff to go over tonight. Big hobby night. Big hobby night. So again, I'm unboxing the War Pig, the latest Kickstarter for Miniature Building Authority. And I'll put that off to the side here. And holy moly, look at all this resin. Alright. I have... That looks like an air cleaner. Oh boy. There's a lot. There's the chassis. I'm going to get that in there for you. You can see that? The chassis. I'm assuming the assembly instructions are online for those who aren't familiar with these type of vehicles. Because there isn't one in the bag here. Here's the wheels. That would go boom. Here we go, right there. So here's wheels for you. the main chassis. You've got what looks to be the front console, because here's the control steering wheel column here. And then a whole bunch, I'm not kidding when I say a whole bunch, of jerry cans, water cans, fuel cans, whatever you want to claim them as. And we have, I'm assuming this is the mount for the machine gun. We have some doors, it looks like. Steering wheel is right here at the end. You can see the detail on that. Interesting. Okay, let me put that stuff back. Again, all solid resin. Looks pretty good. I don't see any bubbles. A little bit of cleanup here and there, but not too much. And let me put this away. And this away. And I'll seal up that bag. And this was pretty reasonable for a Kickstarter. I think this vehicle was 40, 50 bucks. Oh, more machine guns. Ooh, a Ma Deuce. I don't know if we can see that, but right there is a Ma Deuce. And another 249 right there. 249 right there. Okay, we'll take this one out. Oh, this is like interior components and things like that. All right, so here's the front end, obviously. And then we have crews, passengers. These may just go in here like that, and then you have other seats, but there they are. Look pretty good. And then, yay, we've got several people on this. Let me just do a quick here real quick. So, go back good. Been slacking on doing any hobby stuff lately. See Brenner's with us. Good evening. Welcome. We have stowage here. You can see that. You got some rucksacks, extra wheels. I don't know, some tubes of something there. So, camo net right there. Looks like a duffel bag of some sort there. Kit bag. And then, looks like the main cargo compartment. Look at all those jerry cans. Jeez. I'd hate to be the one to have to fill them all. Looks like you got an AT4 right there. I don't know if you can see it. Just some cleanup here. Some more stowage, rucksacks. Maybe a tent or some type, or tarp. So you got all kinds of stuff. So this would sit, I'm assuming, somewhat like this. Here, let me go to the wide camera here, guys. Or, yeah, something like this setup here. We'll get it all put together and we'll get everybody in there. And it looks like this is where the pintle mount goes for the machine gun. Right there. So like I said, there isn't any assembly instructions in here. But that's cool. We'll figure it out. Might be on their website, Miniature Building Authority. They make really great terrain. They make lots of really great vehicles. They had Hemmets that they just came out with not too long ago. So this is the latest one, the War Pig. Okay, an all-purpose transport. All in resin other than some white metal parts. I got a nice little mortar team included in that as well. So I'll be looking forward to assembling this with them here at some point. Let me put all this back in the bulks so I don't lose it. We'll set that off to the side. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. If you guys remember from a few weeks back, I painted up or was working on the Historicon Special Edition miniature for this year, 2019. And I am just about finished with him. I don't know how well it's showing up in here. Let me see if I can adjust the light, give you a little better light on him. But I don't know how hard it is to make out in the camera. But right there is a pack of Marlboros. On this side, he has his bug juice, or more likely his gun oil, break free. He's carrying an M16, jungle boots. He's got a smoke grenade right here. It's hard to see there, but there's a smoke grenade. Let me grab a paintbrush here. I can show you where he's at. But there's a smoke grenade right here. He's got a baseball grenade here. M67, I think, is the correct one on these. Bandoliers here. So all I have to do left on him is do the basing. We might work on that tonight. You know what? We will. I think we will. We'll work on basing tonight. We'll work on that. But before I get to that, I want to show you another project, and I was hoping Ariskany, Jim, was going to be on so I could show him, because this is kind of a little bit of a surprise for him. We'll see him at some point tonight. But I got a new resin 3D printer, and the Anycubic Photon, and it's going right now. It's creating some more parts for me, but I found a really nice detailed model online for M1 Abrams in 8mm scale. So I mean, I can scale them up, I can scale them down, but here is one of the prints. Here's the chassis, the hull, if you will. I hope you have that print. Oh no, I'm inhaling fumes like you got nobody's business. So yeah, I have my windows open. I'm gonna get a hood for it at some point, but it's not too bad right now. But there's an M1. So it took me. I have 8 of them printed right now. Oops. I'm going to switch to wide angle here. Took me roughly 2 hours to print these 8, because I could do 4 on the platform at a time, and then I'm printing the rest of the turrets, but those are the ones I have. So you can see, I'll take one. Now these here, I don't know if you can see it, but right here, I'll go back to the other camera. See, it's got a little white, because what I did is when I cleaned them, I put them in water afterwards to rinse, and I think when I cured them, it affected a little bit, which is no big deal because they're going to get primed anyways. So, not a big deal at all. So we'll go ahead and pop this one off here. Let's see if I can do this under camera. I printed these the first time. They didn't come out because I didn't do any platform. I just printed straight to the printing plate, and there wasn't enough surface area for the miniature to adhere to the printing plate. So after that, I figured it out and printed it off successfully. Got a few more supports here to clean out. Okay. Throw those in the garbage. Gosh darn it, I just dropped it all over the floor. I don't want the dogs getting to them. The stuff is pretty toxic, I'll be honest. Less platform if you print at an angle. Interesting, I'll have to try that. So here we go. And I will clean those up a little bit. I could use my Dremel, but again, I should, you don't want to get the resin dust. So let me assemble this. There you go. An M1 Abrams and 8mm. Why they chose 8mm for the scale, I'm not sure, but I'm okay with that. Because here's M1s in 3mm. That's 3mm right there. I don't have any in 6mm. I have 6mm tanks, but they're World War II versions. But I like that size. Obviously, you can scale up or down on those. So I am printing these up, and yeah, 8 does seem odd. I'm not sure why, but why they have them. I think I'm going to scale them either up to 10 or scale them down to 6. But when I was reading some of the comments, because now Adeptus Mechan... Is it Adeptus No, what's the... Oh, I have it here somewhere. The new version of Epic and all that. That's an 8mm. It's not 6mm anymore. So I don't know if they were using this as an experiment. I don't know. I didn't create it. I just printed them to see how they turned out, and I find that they are really nice models. Nicely detailed. Let me bring one up so you can... I don't know how well you can see that on camera. But all the panels are there. All the engine hatches, covers are all in there. So that should paint up pretty nice, actually. Still got a little bit of water in there from when I cleaned them. Oh, my next set's done. The rest of the turrets are done. Adeptus Titanicus. Thank you, Skoback. I appreciate that. I'm not the biggest person on GW stuff, so let me... I'm not going to pull them off because I'm going to let them sit and drain, and I don't want to mess with cleaning them right now while we're on camera. So I'm going to move these guys offside. But the reason I was hoping Jim would join us is because I know he wants to build a Marine Desert Storm company, and I wanted his opinion on what he thought of these. And then if he liked them, I was going to print them up, a whole group. So he had them for, his collection. Because like I said, it takes me an hour or two to print up some tanks. And so, I need to find some M1s. I'd need to see Marine Corps. I'm not up on what equipment they had in Desert Storm, because obviously that was Army. But I believe they had Humvees as well. I don't think they were still using Jeeps at that time, or Willys, or, the what were they called? They weren't the M577s. I can't remember what they were called, but basically Willys Jeep. Deuce and a halves, The Marines always seem to be a little bit behind the rest of us in some of the equipment. So I'll have to find out from him what type of equipment models I need to look for to print up for him, so I can get him an entire miniature army for Desert Storm. So now that I have this capability and this printer prints really, really nice, I highly recommend it. I picked it up because it was $250 on Amazon with a coupon, And I've been looking at them for a while, but they were like $400 or $500, and all of a sudden they're now, half the price. I think that's because they come out with a new model. They have some improved Z bearings and the Z rod and everything. So yeah. So heck, it does an amazing job. I think it's pretty cool. Let me get our guy here under the camera. You know what? I'm going to move the camera so we're under better lighting. So bear with me as the camera changes, if you will. And let me just make sure we're focused on him okay. So you'll see some camera stuff, so I apologize. Okay. All right. So there he is. So we're going to work on basing him. And more competition appearing on the resin printers. I agree. They're amazing. So, I mean, any competition is good for us because it means better pricing. It means better materials. Let me move the mouse out of the way. So now this base, as you can tell, already has some stuff on there, and I'm trying to decide if I'm okay with that or if I want to enhance it. You know what? We're okay with that. I think we'll be okay with that. So what I'm going to do is going to go ahead and give it a ground color. So this is Vietnam. So a lot of greens. There was the ground. If anybody's been in the U.S. military, at least in the Army side, I can't speak for the Marines, but on the U.S. Army side, every single base, Army base, somehow, no matter where in the country you are, is red dirt. In Vietnam, it seemed like they had some red dirt as well. Now, again, I'm basing part of that on some old movies, which I know weren't filmed in Vietnam. Take John Wayne's Green Berets. It was not filmed in Vietnam. It was filmed at Fort Benning, Georgia. So, of course, it's going to have red dirt. And I guess you can still see part of the SF camp somewhere in Fort Benning. So, excuse me, I gotta wet my whistle. So, my thought on this is I'm going to go with a very dark, almost blackish brown. And then I'm going to build it up from there. So, with that in mind, let me move these turrets off here. Open up my wet palette, which is, believe it or not, still wet from 2 weeks ago. It's growing some little fuzzies, but all in all, it's all right. Remember, if you use a household sponge, make sure you add some bleach, just a couple drops of bleach to your water every once in a while, and that'll keep it from getting moldy. Grab some palette paper here from our good friend Radagast Workshop over there in the UK. And I'm going to go to wide angle here for a second, guys. Oh, no, you got the workbench there. Okay, I can see the other one. So you can see the wide angle in the corner there. So what have you guys been working on lately? I know some of you, it's been hard to keep up on hobby. Believe me, I understand. I'm working 2 jobs. I'm going back to school to finish my master's degree. We just bought horses. The U.S. government has a program. Oops, I need water. So bear with me. I got to move away from the table. I got to go get water. The U.S. government has a program to adopt wild Mustangs. So we adopted 2. Both females. One's 2 years old. One is 7 months old. Totally wild. Never been handled outside of being captured and moved from one point to the other point. So I'm in the process of breaking them, if you will, the old term. we're gentling them and getting ready to be saddled. I was going a little faster than they were probably comfortable with, so we're slowing down the process a little bit. In the meantime, we bought a third horse, a 16-year-old Appaloosa female, who was already trail broke and everything, so that way Dawn could learn how to ride, because she's not really ridden before, other than like, one of those touristy things. And this way it also can be used as a lead horse for our people, for our horses. So we were out there earlier working on them and doing those things. Okay, let me wet my paper. Really good. Okay. All right. Just dab it so it doesn't pool too much. There we go. All right. Cool. All right, so now I need some muddy brown. Muddy brown. A brown violet. You know what? I think I'm going to start with a brown violet. That's actually a good idea. And we'll go up from there. And we're going to do some vegetation. And I have some different types of vegetation that we have from our good friends over at Games and Gears. And some other things. Since this mini won't really be used in a game setting per se, it's more of just a display piece. We'll use that. And then on top of that, I'm going to dab in a little dab of black. And go from there. So I have to ask, does anybody have anything that's on the horizon they're excited to be getting or participating in? I know that right now, was it Mythic Games has Joan of Arc again out, 1.5. I am so tempted to pull the trigger on that. I didn't the first time and I kicked myself because I really should have. But I have so much stuff to go through. It's so unbelievably crazy. Yeah. We want to make it like you know how decaying matter is? It's not black, but it's not green. It's in between somewhere. That's pretty good. So I don't know if you guys have a big project in. So I don't know if you caught on the last podcast. I've got a project coming up where I am going to be doing a Present Arms series on building a game table. It'll be a setting in probably Central America somewhere. And sorry guys, I totally forgot I'm on camera. And we're going to build it from the ground up, from the base up, I should say, foundation, the framework, all the way to the finished scenery. We'll be using a combination of MDF terrain, 3D printed stuff, and going from there. And it'll be a nice miniature game table, scenario table. So, all right. We'll let that dry a second. Okay. So yeah, it's kind of a muddy there. I might even add some water effects to it. What do you think? Should we add a little bit of water effects at some point? I think that might work. Yeah, it looks good. Nice. Looks like mud. Looks like mud. because I do have water. I have modeling water. It's from Realistic. What's it called? Let me grab it. Realistic Water by Woodland Scenics, Model Railroad Company. Love combining my love of model railroading with gaming, especially when it comes to creating scenery, because I really enjoy making realistic looking scenery as much as possible. It takes time, it's not a quick and easy thing if you want it done right, but it's okay. Yeah, we might have some vegetation in here and a little bit of water in here to make it a little funky looking. We'll add some green into the realistic water. I can't put too much in there because then otherwise it'll not harden properly. Okay. So let's paint up the rocks. Now the rocks are going to just get a coat of it's hard to say what I really was looking for. I want to go with a gray base because I want to offset the greens. All right, we'll go with a. So I'm going to use. Let me move him out of the way for a minute so you can see the paint I'm using, which is green gray. There. Green gray. Okay. And this is going to do a dab because I don't need much. Oops. Make sure that's put away. Make sure it's under camera perfectly. Okay. And then we'll tone it up from there because it's really hard to distinguish it from the ground, but that's okay. We don't want to make it so quick that you can't see, or so quick, such a stark change that it just doesn't look realistic, right? Okay. So, while those are drying, I'm looking at the paint here on the base, and it's just about dry. I could put a patch on him, on his shoulder, right here. We could do the 101st. We could do the 82nd. We could do the calf, first calf. I think I'm not going. I think I'm gonna. I don't know. You guys tell me. What do you think? Should I put a patch on him, or should I just leave it like it is, clean? I kind of like him, but you guys tell me what you think. I mean, I can put a patch on him. Not the best freehander with those, but I mean, I'll sure give it a good try. All right, so now I want to start bringing out some color on the base here. And we want to go with the green. And I'm looking at some of these greens here, and I have this green I've been wanting to try for a while. And it is called, let me find, oh, you know what? I'm looking at the light, not the camera. Jesus. You think I've never done this before. Fantasy Games, it's scale 75 color, Misfits green, SFG 10. So I'm just going to do some splotching of this. So let me bring him back in here. And we'll just do a dab-a-doo-ya. Okay. And then I'm just going to take a little bit and irregular pattern. Irregular pattern. Irregular pattern. Now a lot of this will get covered by grass and stuff. We'll do some static grass, but still, you got to get the base down. You got to get layers, right? It's got to be layers. Okay, so Novus Templar is in the house. Welcome. How's Kansas? Any big tornadoes lately? I lived in Kansas for 3 years of my life and loved it there. And I remember in school we had to have a history class on the history of Kansas. And, part of it was about the farmers that lived in the sod huts, sod houses, the locust plagues, the tornadoes, all that stuff. I lived at Fort Riley, Kansas for 3 years when I was a kid. My 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade years. I lived at Fort Riley when my dad was stationed there with the Big Red One. He was a helicopter pilot, so we lived there for 3 years. Loved it there. Truly, truly did love it there. Okay, let's take it up a notch. We're going to go with uniform green to add our next layer. Just started getting cooler this week. We might be going through that way. We're talking about going. We have land out in Colorado that we bought down in the San Luis Valley in south central Colorado. And we may go out there for one more weekend before it gets too crazy, winter-wise. We haven't decided yet. Last time we drove through Nebraska, which is god-awful, boring. This time we might go through Kansas, which isn't much better, but, I mean, at least the terrain changes a little bit. Okay, so we're at a brighter green, and we're just going to do a little bit of splotching. A little bit of splotching. Again, we're just doing this for basing, for depth. No patterns, irregulars, you can get it. I'm going to put water in there, so there we go. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but that's all you're doing. Just building up a couple different layers. I'm going to put one more green. Just starting here in Maryland today. Excellent. Yeah, it got cooler here in Illinois. It was 80 something yesterday, and today it's like 60. But that's Illinois for you. We can go from winter to fall to summer to spring all in 24 hours. Okay, let me put that up. All right, I'm going to do one more green color, and then we're going to change it up to probably a little bit of a yellow, a tannish yellow. Looking at my greens, I want to go too crazy on a green because but you do want to make it stand out a little bit. That's probably too close. All right, we're going to use some sick green from Game Air. Whoop, camera's this way, guy. There you go. Oh, okay. See, Game Air. All right, cool. All right, guys. So, I really appreciate you spending time with us on these nights. Like I said, we're trying to get back to regular programming. Jim's taking a break from the Op Center. If you listen to the last podcast, we talked about the whys of that because it just gets too crazy, and it's, if you guys know Jim, he is a perfectionist, and you see it by the quality of his work. It takes a lot of time, and he's got a regular job, and Life 2. So, okay, that's good. All right. So just use some different colors, different shades. Ah, is that Jen? Because movie? Is that the Jen? The one and only Saint Jen? That's what I call you, Saint Jen. Saint Jennifer. Welcome, Jennifer. I call her Saint Jennifer because Jim is a perfectionist, and it's got to be challenging to live with him at times. Um, he's a tremendously nice guy. Don't take it the wrong way, but if you know people who are really smart and they like to do things a certain way, you have to adapt to their lifestyle, and it can be a challenge sometimes. Yes, thank you, Novus Templar. We really, he makes amazing work. I'm afraid at one point some big channel is going to come along and go, like the History Channel or something, go, hey, why don't you bring that program over to us? And I'm going to be like, what? And then I'll be like, I knew Jim Wynn. Okay, so we've got our base colors all in here. We're going to go to a tannish yellow. Again, we don't want it to stand out too much. This might be a good color. It's another game scale color, Sahara yellow. Let me get it in frame right there for you. uh, well, guys. We're really glad you're enjoying his endeavors on Op Center. I was telling him the quality work that he does. I would find it very hard to replicate um, to his level. I do have standards that I meet and all that good stuff, but the amount that he puts into it is amazing. So, all right, so I'm just going to dab a little bit here, pigment-wise, and we're just going to dab a little bit in there. It's a little too thin. Try and bring some of this together. And I'm covering it for you. I am so sorry. That's the scale 75. You really have to shake. They separate really well, the pigment from the thinning solution, whatever they call it. So, but that's all right. I think that's good. And there's the man, the myth, the legend. Jim, you missed it. I have a surprise for you. Oh, thank you on the dual screen. I appreciate that. Jim, I have a surprise for you. So, guys, let me take a break from this miniature so I can catch Jim up on my surprise for him. So I'm going to move him off. Jim, after our conversation in our last podcast, and you were talking about wanting to create a Desert Storm Army unit based on Marines, I got a Resin 3D printer. I found a file, and I started printing these. Let me get them in camera for you. These. All these. Let me go to the widescreen so it's a little easier to see for you. Bloop. So, all these. Here. There's 8 of them. And here's one that's fully assembled. I will go back to the other camera so you can get a better look, and you tell me what you think. I don't know if you can see it very well, but that is an M1 in 8mm resin printed. It took me about 2 hours to print 8 M1s. So, all I need to know from you, Jim, is what scale and how many do you need? Those are for you, my friend, for all your hard work. So let me get those back off the table. I'm not trying to steal anybody. It is a tank. It's cool. It's cool. That's funny. Don't worry, Saint Jen. I would never do that because I would never cross a saint. That is bad karma. Okay, so moving back to our Vietnam Special Edition miniature from Historicon 2019. A tank would probably work. All right, so let us proceed with a little bit of water, realistic water. Okay. Now I've never done this. I'm gonna have to kill. Ooh, dang! It's been a while since I used this bottle. Holy snikes! Well, I might not be using it tonight. Sorry as I beat on the lid. Holy moly! Because of course I left my Gerber multi-tool in my truck when we were working on the horses. All right, got it. Yes, I'm using the Anycubic Photon. I got it for $250 on Amazon with a coupon. The thing is amazing. I had a little trouble getting the first prints to stick, but then I learned I needed to have a platform instead of just trying to print them directly. So that's what I've been doing. All right, I need a little container. Oh, I guess I could use the lid. I'll use the lid. That's way more than I am going to need. All right, so I have realistic water right here. Dink. We're going to put it right in there. And I need a crappy toothbrush, a crappy paintbrush. They're not crappy, but a sacrificial. Let's call it sacrificial, shall we? I will use one of my last Games and Gears synthetic because I'll never recover it after this. I wish there was footprints in there because that would be really cool. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, I don't know if this stuff cleans up with water or not. If it does, that's awesome. Well, it might clean up with water. I'm going to take a little bit of this green here. I don't know if you can see it on the wide camera. And I'm going to mix it in with the water. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the dark green and mix it on the edges of the water. So it's like scummy water. And we're going to let that dry. Oh, looks like I got a shopping list. Guys, give me a second. I'm going to pull off the YouTube one because I'm not, so I can get the messages here. Okay, let's see here. Jim, awesome, thanks. I've ordered a bunch of USMC 15 mil, M60s, Lavs, Humvees, but no Abrams yet. So do you want 15 mil Abrams? Because I can print them in 15 mil if you want me to print them for you, Jim. And Chris has joined us. Hello, all at work. Jumping in to see 3D resin goodness. Wide camera looks frozen. Oh, no. No bueno. Chris, got to get that workshop set up there at your new digs. And let's get some projects going, buddy. Get you back on the show. We miss you. All right. Hey, Elisar is joining us. Hey, how are ya? Welcome. So, yeah, thanks for everybody joining us. So, as you can see, the water is settling in nicely. I might put another layer on top of that after that dries a little bit, but it's a really nice mini. This is, like I said, a Historicon mini. Um, yeah, I'll just dab a little bit of water on top. I'm just going to let it drip off my paintbrush so I don't disturb the top too much. And that's all I'm going to do with that. Put that back in the bottle. Put the genie back in the bottle. And I'll probably reseal the bottle where I can't get it open again in a few months when I need it again. And I will clean my paintbrush. So, for all you guys who are listening right now, tell your friends. First day off tomorrow. Awesome. Making me want to add a Photon X to my Anycubic Mega. Which one's the Mega? Is that the Delta printer or is that the one like a Ender? I'm telling you what, if I can find a resin printer with a huge printing plate, I may never go back to a regular 3D FDM printer. So you guys, if you guys are around on Saturday, or Sunday, and want to jump in, Jim and I are going to recreate the battle, especially like the river crossing, Nijmegen on the Vaal River. Oh, I got a huge text here. Hold on a minute. All right, guys, let me see if I can jump us up here. No, I don't want to cast. Make this wider. Okay, so Jim, seriously, if you want a few 15mm M1 Abrams and T-72s would not go awry. 2 to 3 each. That's easy. You tell me what you want. Yep, the Vaal River. Okay, resin printers lose resolution the bigger they are. New 4K one should be out soon. Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting, Skovac. I honestly didn't know that. Mega S is awesome. I have 2. Really? I am wondering what these 4K resin printers look like. I didn't know the bigger they got, the less resolution they had. I had no idea. I thought it was scalable. Interesting. So they're not good for big scenery pieces then, at least right now. Interesting. All right. Okay, well, that's drying. So you guys missed my unboxing of the War Pig I got from the Kickstarter from Miniature Building Authority. A really nice resin piece. Came out really nice. I'll build that on another show because I got to look at the instructions because there are some pieces and it didn't come with assembly instructions. It's probably on the website, so I'll get a chance to download those and go from there. So yeah, just resin gets really weird when you scale it up. I did not know that. Okay, so let's see. Skovac, subscribe from his Twitch phone. Thank you, Skovac, for the subscription. We appreciate that. I'm at 4 printers now and the Photon in February. Well, I've got my Monoprice one that I use for scenery, and I still have my 100 strong 56mm Halo army is almost done, like after 8 months. That's cool. What game are you gonna play with it? And the War Pig looks awesome. It does. I cannot wait to get it assembled and get that going. Yeah, that's gonna look really good. I want to mess with this some more. I really do. But I gotta let that water dry because if I don't, I'm gonna have static graphs and all that kind of junk in it, and it just won't look right. So I'll have to be patient and let it dry. So another interesting thing. I I've been talking to Andy Zek. You know, you've seen all his amazing painting. We've been talking back and forth, and we are still on for doing painting videos for OTT, Beast of War. Um, it may we may end up filming them in November or December this year, but definitely going to be doing a whole series of camo painting and military painting. I cannot wait. I get to learn from what I consider the master. I think he does amazing work. He really brings out miniatures at a good gaming, high contrast display level. I mean, here's how I feel about mine versus his. Okay, while we're sitting here waiting on things to dry and we're just chatting. So here are some examples of minis I've painted. Okay, so here is obviously the Vietnam guy. I am going for true realism. I'm not looking for high contrast gaming. It's just the way I was raised. It's the way military career. To me, it's all about the whole realism. And I'm not saying Andy's isn't real, but for God knows, I'm not. Please don't think I'm implying that at all. His are very realistic. He just is able to bring life to his guys at such a high degree that they stand out really well in pictures and in gaming magazines and etc. Mine are really based on scale modeling, if you will. Not really like the portraiture guys, but things like that. So. And he prints his guys in like an hour, maybe two. He prints or paints really fast. So that's my Vietnam guy that I'm working on. This was my Ultra Combat Modern guy. This is the American soldier. It kind of did a, what would you call it? Almost like a multicam, kind of modernish version of it. And again, very realistic, not a lot of high contrast. Everything blends together. It looks great on a table. And then I went with the Vietnam. Good God, where I got Vietnam stuck in my head. This is the Russian Federation troop. Totally did this one out of my own imagination and kind of experience with Russian, modern Russian. I don't really have a guide on there as I could. And I just jazzed it up a little bit. And that's from the Ultra Combat Modern series. I got to paint the rest of those guys. So, I'm into let's paint it as realistic as possible. Not high contrast. Like here's a Mena troop from Spectre. So there's one of those. And then I have Hawkeye from the MASH unit from the Korean War. Painted him right off the TV. So that's kind of my style. So I'm really interested to learn from his. When is the release for Modern Ultra Combat? That is an excellent question. So the last update I got is that they've had some delays in some sculpting some of the Americans. I don't know if there was an issue with their previous sculptor, but now we're looking at possibly January for that. But they said if it's going to be longer, they're going to release the materials they have completed at that time and then follow up with the other stuff when it comes. So I was lucky enough to get my hands on some preview copies of the Ultra Modern Combat stuff, and once I get our gaming table built, you know what? I take that back. I don't know. I think, Chris, I might need your input on this one. I have that gaming table we got from Blacksite Studio from Adepticon, and I could use that to do a demo game of Ultra Combat. Unless you've got something in the works, Chris. Or I could build one. So. Hawkeye came out great. Well, thank you. My hobby isn't nearly as cool, just beating some Halloween jewelry. That's okay. A Halloween is a Halloween. Hiring a new sculptor. Okay. So I figured there was an issue there somewhere. So, I mean, they didn't really talk about it, but that's okay. Those things happen. It's Kickstarter. We're backing a project. It's not a pre-order like they keep stressing. So yeah, that's some of the stuff we're working on. Like I said, I just printed up 5 more turrets for these M1s. Like I said, it takes 56 minutes to print 5 of them. I'm going to leave them on there because it's kind of a mess to get them off and You got to clean them with alcohol and put them under the UV light. For the UV light, for any of you who don't know, I'm using, let me go to a wide camera so you can see this. I'm using this. It's a nail dryer for gel nails, UV lights. It works pretty well. So it's like 20 bucks on Amazon. So it's pretty awesome. Other than that, I'm going to start probably next week. We'll start the series on designing the new game table for everything. So yeah, just a lot of things here. Let me move the camera. You don't need to see the garbage. Goodness. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. Definitely going to get some more miniature gaming in. Like I said, we've got the 75th anniversary going on Sunday for Market Garden. Jim, did you see my message, by the way, about game time? If you could let me know about that. So, all right, let's go back to here. Let's see how we're looking here. It's still drying, but I think I can work with that because I'm going to just do, let me see how wet it is. We can make that work. All right. So what I need to do is do a little bit of gluing and stuff like that. Let me see. Let me grab some of these here. Gonna go grab a set. Let's see what we've got. Battlefield Green. Don't want Desert Storm, that'll be too much. Battlefield Green. Scorched Earth. I might actually use a little bit of Scorched Earth. Let me, just to give it a little difference in shade. Okay, looks like I lost chat here. Hold on, guys. Let's try to reconnect the chat. Reconnecting. Hello. Anybody home? Anybody home? You know what? Let me go off the Wi-Fi in this thing. Sometimes we have a dead zone up here for Wi-Fi, and I can just hit it with my cell signal data, and we can go from there. There we go. We're back in. Okay. All right, so let me introduce you guys to this product. Again, they are not sponsoring us whatsoever. They just give us stuff to try out. So we have these Games and Gears Tufts. They're pre-sticks. Okay, they come in different lengths and shades and stuff like that. So I have some Battlefield Scorched Earth, and I have the Battlefield Green. So we'll start with some of the greens. Excellent. We'll look forward to that, Chris. Okay, so I will pull out. There's roughly 200 of these little doodads in a bag, or in a box. So there we go. All right. So, and they're just pre-stick. Let's get, ooh, I like this one right here. You just peel it off the paper. Let me switch back to the workbench cam. And I think I'm going to stick this baby right there. And it's stuck. And I'm just going to just like that. And then I want a little skinny dude. And I'll pick this one. And I think I'll put it right there, squish it down, and then I'll fluff everything back up. Sometimes if you just blow on it, just like that. And then I think I'll do one more. Like this. Just like that. Okay. So easy on, they stick. It's like almost, I don't know if it's a glue that dries and becomes permanent. All right, so let me catch on. There's a lot of conversation going on. Let me catch up, guys. Let's see. So Chris is off to do his patrol. Have a good one, Chris. Some new vids coming soon. We'll make sure we check those out and get them up. Okay, G, could we go significantly noon my time? Yeah, that's perfect. That's actually perfect. That would give us a comfortable time to do. Yes, perfect. 11 noon your time. Perfect. Novus Templar, my D-Day table I'm shooting for is about 12 by 4. Wow. Hoping to crank my video work up to at least the first level of the Oriskany scale. Woo! The Oriskany scale. We have another trademark, the Oriskany scale. We have a drinking game, the Oriskany drinking game. Long story short. And now we have the Oriskany scale of video production. That's amazing. But no case factor, hidden units, etc. Original old school Valor and Victor should be go left. That's cool. Excellent. Yes. Do you do videos? We'd like to see some of them. We'd love to share them if you'd like us to on the channel. Okay, so, and I am working on updating the shot glasses because you can buy shot glasses right now that say long story short, but we're going to get the logo put on them when we get the new logo. Ralph has assured me that he's working on a new logo, and oh yeah, I like that color. I don't know if you can see that in the close cam there, or the wide cam in the corner, but these are a darker green. Those will fit in nice. Let's see. Let's put one right here. And I'm going to put another one, little bitty dude, right there. And we definitely want to mix a bigger one. Let's go with this one. And we're going to put that right there. Just like that. How's that? So, got a little mix of the dark greens. In there. You know what? I think I'm going to put a yellow one-ish, the tannish one in there. Good luck, Novus Templar. You would need to practice swear words if you want to reach any level of the Oriskany scale. Oh, good. That's funny. Poor Jim. He was having such a rough time the other day. Nothing was working. Technology was definitely not his friend that day. The gremlins got into his machine. We're going to start a telethon. You remember good old telethons, like the Labor Day telethon? We're going to start a telethon for Jim to get him a new updated computer. We'll get some, has-been entertainers to come on and, do their shtick, I think it'd be amazing. All right, so I'm using some of these Desert Storm is what they're calling them. So I'm not going to go too crazy on this. It's just to add a little contrast. That's all. Just to add a little bit of contrast. There we go. How's that look, guys? What do you think? Is it too much or is it good enough? Money's not the issue regarding my PC. Oh, I know, Jim. But, it gives an example to have a party. It's just an excuse for a party. It's all good. It's just an excuse to have a party. All right. So that is that. I actually have some cattails somewhere. I could put cattails, but I don't want to go too crazy. Well, then we're just obscuring. So that is him, all done. So I am going to varnish him. So I use Model Masters, lacquer, lusterless flat. Okay. Get ready to inhale fumes. That's it. Ether. Okay. He done. All done. Okay, so guys, I would like some ideas for future projects. Like I said, we're going to be working on the game table. Maybe we can convince Jim at some point to talk about taking us through a game creation, something like that. Game design. He could do a series on game design from a historical perspective. Blackmagic Design. That's what we have in our studio here. We use the HD television HD splitter mixer. We use we use a lot of Blackmagic here. That's what we use for our OTT videos, and it's been quite a while since we've done it. We got a stack of work to do, and we're going to be using that for some green screen work I'm doing for another TV show for another miniatures company. They want us to create a news program for them, so still got to get that. Unfortunately, we've had some setbacks here at the old homestead. Dawn lost her job to reorganization, so she's looking for work. So really, she hasn't been in the right frame of mind to do a lot of gaming and hobbying. So it makes it, hard to work with. But yeah, we'll definitely be getting back up there and getting some OTT stuff and working on this news program and putting out some more content for good old SitRep. We're definitely going to do a game weekend. Timing just wasn't right to get everything in place for the Halloween one, but we're still going to do something with the Dust People. I assure you, it's a great game. So, and thank you for everybody for saying, about sending well wishes there for Dawn. I appreciate that as well. She's got several interviews. It's just, when you get into management and healthcare, jobs don't come as easy as if you were just, working bedside as a nurse. I mean, nurse jobs are dime a dozen as bedside. It's when you're at the level she was at that it becomes a little harder. So, yeah. But this is about hobby and stuff. So I am interested to know if anybody is interested in a prize. I think it's time for a prize. If you guys are interested in some 8mm M1 Abrams, let me know and I'll send you out. We'll draw a random winner and I will send you out some 3D printed M1s. If anybody's got what's that game? They just played it. It's Fistful of Toes. 3 just came out, right? So, if you want to try that, or if you want to try it Team Yankee, or whatever. Or if you want us to do a program on 3D printing, I'd be happy to, but it sounds like there's some very well experienced people out there when it comes to that. So, yes, Fistful of Toes. Anything like that. You know what? While we're sitting here chatting, let's prime this baby and see what it looks like primed. I'm going to set my phone down so I don't paint my phone because I would die. So let me grab this little guy here. And I'm just going to do a brush primer on him. Let me grab one of the stylized primers. Oh wait, no. Better yet, I have Team Yankee, Yankee Green, dun dun dun, primer. LSR, we are definitely going to reach out to you on that one, my friend. Definitely going to reach out to you on that one. Okay, I haven't used this stuff since it came out. Oh, it works. All right, because I don't have enough toxic fumes in the air right now. We are definitely going to just amp it up a level. So if you hear me hit the floor and I stop talking, you'll know why. Come on. There we go. I like to live dangerously. Do, 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 do. Gotta remember, I was in the Army. We're not very smart. But we're not crayon eaters. There's that. Right, Jim? Sorry, I had to do it. Okay, that's good. Don't paint the mouse. Ah, shh! Oh, I missed. Or did I? Yeah, I did. That's just nasty skin. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to paint my Ferrari red mouse. That would be no bueno. Oh, the detail really came out now. Let me see if I can get them over here to you guys. To the camera. To the camera. To the camera. But let me see if I can. I'll pick up this. If I get fingerprints on it, I'll redo it. It's fine. But look at the detail. That came out really nice. Really nice. Let that dry up. We are smart. This is why we picked the Army. This is very true. Besides, I just didn't want to be the whipping boys of the Navy. Yeah, you can definitely see the doors and hatches and... Oops, I'll have to clean that off. I don't know. I'll get that off. That got us a support here that's still stuck on that. I'll clean up. But that was just a test. I mean, the nice thing is I could always print more if I ever need to, right? Fusion 360 bit so many projects. Wow, Fusion 360. Serious software. Yeah, those look good. So, awesome. Oh, come on, Jim. The Marines give us enough crap. You guys make fun of our uniforms every turn. Speaking of which, have you seen the new pinks and greens that the Army's getting? I definitely got out of the Army too soon. I would have loved to have pinks and greens. That would have looked awesome. I always thought the World War II uniforms were the best. I had the ugly Class A's from the 80s, you know. All that polyester was terrible. I mean, but honestly, it looked good because we had, you know, jump boots and our berets. So it all looked really good. Cannot lie. Airborne was the way to go. We all know the guys picked Marines for their blues. Well, with that disappointing note, I think we're going to call it a night, guys. I hope you had a great time. Please, if you are free and you want to join us on Sunday for 75th anniversary of Operation Market Garden, I will be definitely watching A Bridge Too Far over the next night or two. Because I love that movie. It brings back a lot of good memories of watching it as a kid with my father. And it was one of the driving factors of why I joined the Airborne. Because Band of Brothers and all that stuff had not come out, and you know, when I joined in '86. So please join us 12 noon Eastern Time, 5 p.m. UK time. I will be looking for people to help me make command decisions. So if you want to be a part of my team, that'll be the 82nd as we cross the River Vol to take the bridge from both sides, because that's the best way to take a bridge. Then come Come on and join my team. And I might set it up where we might do little snippets of Bridge Too Far in there at different times. I might do some video clips. We'll have to see if we can get that fancy. I don't want to screw up Jim's game, but it's all awesome. So the next time, guys, 2 a.m. Australian time, I'll be there. I just won't be much help. Well, just make sure you have plenty of beer. Do you guys really drink Foster's in Australia, or is that just a stupid American thing? Because I love Foster's, but, I just don't know if that's an American thing. Like how people think everything is never. Never drink Foster's, huh? What is the beer of choice in Australia? Never even seen it for sale? Really? But they all say it's Australian for beer. Major Julian Cook and 2 of his company commanders. There we go. I need 2 company commanders. We'll take on Jim, the Nazis, the Germans. I got to get down to Australia. I got Cooper's, Teddy's. Really? Never heard of any of those. Yes, the 10th Panzer that wasn't supposed to be there. It was supposed to be a bunch of old men and kids. Yeah, I have to get down to Australia because we've been invited down there to, do some work with the guys from a couple different companies, and I know we'll shoot over to New Zealand to talk to Colin and stuff from Skirmish Sangan and all that kind of good stuff. So it's been a long time since I've been to Australia. When I was there last time, we weren't allowed to drink because we were out in the field. We did a little international exchange program, so there wasn't much drinking. Okay, that's not true. Somehow some bottles of Jack Daniels got brought in, and a few cases of nasty-ass Budweiser. That was the American contribution. Oh, yes, 88. Excellent. So, guys, all right, we're going to call it a night. I appreciate everybody turning out. I don't like to keep the streams too late because it is late for a lot of people, and, we want to keep these fresh and not become tired conversations. But I appreciate you following along. I hope you enjoyed us finishing up our Historicon Special Edition miniature. I'll post some pictures once he's fully dried. And the 3D prints came out really nice, so I appreciate it, guys. I got to see if I can find some Australian ginger beer, non-alcoholic, for the Sunday game. Long story short. Aha! Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. All right, guys, until we see you next time, this is G for the SitRep Podcast. You've been watching Present Arms. And as always, thank our sponsor, Black Site Studios. If you have not checked out their site, please do so. They have a lot of awesome terrain, and I bet they can find something for all of you. So until the meantime, take care, guys. Thank you to all our Patreon supporters and our Twitch supporters, and we'll see you soon.
Are you looking to become a Tier 1 operator in the gaming world? Elevate your games with Black Site Studio Terrain.